Today's topic is fears. So I want to address really quick just a couple of really common fears that people have in signing up so that we can kind of get that out of the way. So the number one fear is that you will be judged by people. So if you start posting things on social media and you start posting sweaty workout selfies and things like that, that people will judge you and people will think differently of you. And that's a totally valid fear. I definitely had that fear, and we've already touched on it a bit in the previous days, but it's actually amazing how many people are just so grateful that you're giving the information and you're being so vulnerable and sharing so much without them having to ask for it. People will creep you. I have people who will creep me for 4 months before they'll talk to me, or longer. Tracy and I both Tracy's had someone who's creeped her for a year before sending her a message. So I think that that's kind of comforting sometimes in a weird way, because it's even if people aren't actually ready to reach out to you yet, they're watching you, and there are so many people out there that are just happy to see you living a happy and healthy life. But if you do decide to sign up, this is something that we can definitely chat about, because this is where personal development really comes in handy. So making sure that you're exercising your confidence muscle and you're feeling really solid in the reason why you're doing this, so that when those fears come up and when those feelings come up, you can address them in a way that works for you. So that's number one, people judging you unfairly. And a lot of the time that is made up, right? I'll just say one more thing about it really quick, that, what's that saying? What anyone thinks of you is none of your business. That's a totally valid thing. So it's not about you pleasing people, it's about you having your own journey and you sharing it with people. And there are going to be people that will say something to you about it, but actually for the most part it's just hey, what you're doing looks really amazing. What is it? Tell me more. Commission. And some people are afraid that you'll end up putting more money into the business than you'll be making. And I mean, that is, I guess, a reasonable fear, but as long as you're doing the daily behaviors, which we will teach you, then it's really quite simple to be successful at this business. Like we've both said, it only takes an hour a day to really get everything that you need to do to be successful at this business done. Some days they're a little more, but it really, in a nutshell, is you learn about these we call them the vital behaviors, and if you do them every single day, you do not have to worry about this, I promise. And the third one is that let's say you haven't even done one of the programs yet, or you have done one of the programs and it was months ago, or you just don't really feel like you have anything to share yet. And that's totally valid as well. And my answer to that is that no one expects you to be an expert. You're not going out there saying, I am Katrina, a registered dietitian and personal trainer. That's not what I go out there and say, right? I go out there and I share what my journey is, and I say, this is what I did today, this is the workout I did, this is what I'm eating, this is the struggle that I'm having. And you know what? People really connect to your transformation from the point that they start following it to seeing it kind of progress, right? So if you're constantly sharing what's going on with you, and then you're like, hey, look, this photo was taken 30 days ago and this one is taken today, there's this change that happened that you didn't know was there until you looked at the photos. People that have been following you get really excited about that as well. So you do not need to be a fitness model. You do not need to be you don't need to know everything about nutrition. You don't need to have any kind of special skill set, I guess, to begin with. You just have to do the training, and all of the information that you need is available, I promise. And we will show you how to find all of the information that you need. And then it's just going through the programs yourself and doing them and learning in real time how things work so that you can share that experience with people. So that was super quick, but take a breath. The three that I talked about, the three fears that I kind of find are the biggest ones, is number one. What was number one? Number 2 was that you will spend more money than you'll make on the business. And like we said, as long as you follow the vital behaviors every day, not a problem. Number 1 was that you will be judged by people, and that people will like make fun of you or whatever about your change in either the fact that you're posting on social media more or talking about it or whatever. And my answer to that is that it's none of your business what people think of you, and that people can have their opinions, but there are going to always be more people that will appreciate the fact that you're offering up your experience and you're being vulnerable with them. And like I said, personal development is a huge part of this, and we will totally help you get set up in a way to build up your confidence muscle so that these doubts and fears stop creeping up and getting in the way of your success. And number 3 was number 1 was number 2. Number 3, that you don't have anything valuable to share yet. And that is a valid fear, but I just want to remind you that you're not sharing products, you're not sharing a service, you're sharing you. You're sharing your journey. So it's actually great that you're starting from ground zero and working your way up, because your followers can come on the journey with you. So those are the 3 biggest fears that I wanted to touch on. I would love today if you could comment below another fear that I didn't mention that you might have, another thing that's not really clear for you yet, any questions you might have. But the real assignment is, can you please post below another fear that I maybe didn't touch on that you have when you think about the possibility of signing up as a coach or starting your coaching business.